Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be a video response to 55 Ella 2007K. That's the YouTube name. I know it's a hell of a lot to say. Ella for short. This is a response to her video on Social Security, which is a really good video, and you guys should check it out. If you haven't yet, there will be a link in the text description. Yeah, Social Security being hijacked. I don't want to say old news because that sounds too dismissive. It's not, but it is. Social Security has been under attack for some time. For obvious reasons, because people want to get all their hands on our money. They don't like the fact that people have a safety net. Now, I'm glad that Ella, if she's watching this, I hope she is. I really like her videos and stuff like that. I'm glad she pointed out the myths that are being perpetuated about Social Security. You know, people are trying to make it look like it's some type of freeloaders program. It's not. Some people are trying to make it look like it was some type of entitlement program. It's not. It was meant as a safety net for citizens. Now, some people might be thinking, why the hell should we have a safety net for citizens? Either they pull their own weight or they die. I got two things to say about that. One, they did pull their own weight. That's why they deserve Social Security. Social Security is not some freeloaders program where somebody else pays it for you. As long as you earn an income, you are vying into Social Security. That's why you pay the taxes, dumbass. Notice that Social Security tax that's in your freaking paycheck? You're not paying for somebody else. That money's supposed to be coming back to you when you get older and you need the cash. Second, I don't understand what's being taught in civics classes today, if we even have them anymore. You're part of a society. A society is nothing but an overly large group. Think about being part of a smaller group. Whenever you're part of a smaller group and you guys pitch in, and, you know, you hang out and all that, you contribute toward the group in many ways, whether it's emotionally, financially, you know, whatever ways to support yourselves. And there are benefits, obviously, to being part of a group. You don't, you know, just join a group just because. There's some type of benefit out of it. Whether it's simply because you enjoy their company, or whether it's safety in numbers in case you guys travel in packs so that you don't get jumped when you're walking around at night. Or maybe it's, you know, a group of roommates who pitch together so that they, you know, they'll each pitch in to pay the rent and the grocery bills and utility bills so they don't got to worry about paying it for themselves. You know, it's less of a strain. There are benefits to joining groups. And obviously, if you pitch into that group, you get something out of it. If you're not getting anything out of the group, then obviously you would rather live on your own. And that's true individualism right there. I don't need the group. I can live on my own. But obviously, if you're going to be going on your own, then you don't really take anything from whatever group that happens to be living nearby or whatever group that you're ostracizing yourself from. Okay? Okay. Now, society is a big group. We all pitch in. In this particular age where we have to sell ourselves to another industry for a living, rather than the way it used to be where your labor would actually contribute to you and not to somebody else to make them rich while you earn a freaking wage. Can't talk tonight. You know, in this particular age, you're building towards society. Well, you're building towards rich people, but you're still building towards a society. You're putting in. So you should obviously get something out of it. If you're part of a group, or this society, or this nation, why would you argue that you should be part of a group and put in towards it and struggle through it and not get anything out of it? Does that make any freaking sense? Social Security and programs such as that were designed to make sure that you got some type of benefit for putting into this society. It's a benefit that you will be getting late in life, or later in life, I should say, but still, it's something that you get for pitching into this society. Now, there are certain people, i.e. the rich, who don't like the fact that you're going to be getting something because they have to pitch into it too. And if it's one thing that history has consistently shown, is that people in power and the wealthy like taking from the masses rather than giving to the masses. You know, Bill Gates and his group notwithstanding, and yes, I'm glad that there are people like that around, but they're too few and far between. Most of the time, they'd rather fleece. That's what they do. That's how they got their wealth in the first place. So they're always going to try to find ways to trick you into giving up the few safety nets you have left. And Social Security is one of them. I am not surprised that Democrats are working to destroy it, because the Democrats have never been your friend. Much like the Republicans have never really been your friend. It's just that the Republicans are a little bit better. Well, okay, it's weird. The Republicans are a little bit more obvious in that they're not going to be your friend, and they appeal to the people who are stupid enough to think that they can join the club. The Democrat, that's how they get into power, by the way. Republicans, especially today's Republicans, basically are able to get into power by appealing to the base natures of some of the worst people in the country in order to vote for them. And they trick them into thinking, yeah, you're one of us, you're one of us. Yeah, we're protecting your wealth too, we're protecting your interests, we're kicking the undesirables out, not realizing that the undesirables are them too. Democrats are really good at tricking the down and out into thinking that they're going to help them out. Hardly has ever been the case. So, I'm not surprised that they're going to slowly work towards getting rid of Social Security, because if you look at things that they've championed in the past, you'll notice that there's a correlation between, you know, Democratic policies and catering to Wall Street. They're just a little bit more covert at it. And yeah, they are dismantling the middle class with these particular type of bills and slowly getting rid of whatever few safety nets are left. But that just goes to show how fragile the middle class really is. I remember I pissed off somebody once who had commented when I said that the middle class was an illusionary class. He got really mad at that. He thought that I was just basically saying that, oh, we should get rid of the middle class. I don't know why he thought that, but that's not what I was trying to say. The reason why I said that in some ways it's an illusionary class is because it's so easy to get rid of it. All you have to do really is just make sure that I forgot the term, I'm saying not the have-nots, the ones who have, the rich, the powerful. You just basically make sure that they're able to abuse as many of the masses as they possibly can without facing any repercussions for it. And yeah, you'll barely have a middle class. All you'll have are the people in power and those who aren't, the peasants. You'll always have those two, no matter what. There's always going to be those two particular groups. In any society, they will always exist. The only way you're able to get a middle class is if you have certain rights and privileges afforded to the masses to make sure that the rich and powerful can't fuck with them too much, or that they're going to face some type of penalties for fucking with them too much. But once you start taking those particular things away, those safeguards, they start to vanish. What cracks me up about this country is you'll have Americans running around screaming and yelling about certain things that they want to change because they think it's oppressive, and not realizing that the very things that they want to get rid of are the very safety nets that allow them to live the lives that they're so accustomed. The middle class, I'm sorry, in this country has got to be some of the dumbest group of people on this planet, because they consistently want to vote for things and champion things that guarantee that their class won't be around for much longer. They're the ones who voted in Reagan, for instance. And Reagan was one of the people who helped to push in the economy that we're now suffering through now. He's the one, for instance, who was like, oh, yeah, companies going and giving you jobs overseas, that's good for America. That's good. Keep doing that shit. Good. And Americans went along with that. Hey, that sounds like a good idea. Trickle-down economics and letting businesses do what they want. That's a great idea. Then you guys wondering why you're losing your shirts. Because they never were going to help you out to begin with. They want to take from you. That's the way they think. That's the way they operate. They're not here to share. There's no such thing as sharing when you're in a competitive market. You're trying to dominate. You're trying to take from somebody else. Especially if that someone happens to be you. It amazes me time and time again how many times Americans need to relearn this lesson. But they never learn it. Even after they get hit with that news, after they finally get slapped in the face with just how abusive these guys can get, what do? They voted another group of people who are going to do the exact same thing and champion the exact same causes that will leave them out in the cold. Look what's happening now with the Tea Party movement, which really cements why I don't respect that movement whatsoever. I had a feeling since the beginning that they were going to be nothing but another wing of the Republican Party. And look what happened. Can you guys name any candidate that they're supporting or trying to vote for that isn't a Republican candidate? Maybe one or two guys are complete independents, but everyone else is a Republican. They're voting for the exact same type of people who are going to screw them over once they get into office. And not just financially, as far as, messing with the safety nets and, Social Security and all that. They're going to do it in other ways, too, to limit our particular freedoms. Because that's what they do. That's the way they operate. That's the way they've been operating. This is nothing new. I'm kind of going off more on a rant here than anything else, and I really didn't want this to be a rant. I actually wanted to stay on topic. But the problem I'm finding, Ella, when you're putting out these videos, and they're good videos, great information, stuff that people really need to learn, but I guess I'm too much of a pessimist. I think it's kind of too late at this point. People right now are so divided on issues that they don't even think about them anymore. They just react on reflex. You say certain terms or you say certain words and they immediately like, without even thinking about it. If you say the word Social Security, they automatically think socialism without realizing that this is something that benefits them. Hell, you say the word socialism and they're up in arms, not realizing that many of the tenets of socialism would help them to stay in the class and the lifestyle to which they are accustomed. It was, hell, the ideas of socialism came about by middle-class people who wanted to make sure that they wouldn't be picked on and fleeced by the powers that be. I'm not saying all their ideas were right or all their ideas would pan out, but they were thinking of the middle and working classes when they came up with those theories. They weren't trying to come up with some type of evil dictatorship to rob them of their wealth. It was actually the opposite. But since Americans have been taught to think a certain way and believe certain things and react a certain way to certain terms and phrases, they won't think things through. They will just react. And that's exactly the way they want these people to act. And the middle class is really good at just reacting without thinking. They're very good at that. And politicians are very good at getting that reaction out of them. They know what phrases to say. They know what images to show them. They know what sound bites to constantly bombard them with. And they'll get the same reactions time and time again. The only way to counteract this is to try to find a way to get Americans to, shake off that programming. Good luck with that. Because I really don't know any freaking way to reverse that sort of programming. It's well too ingrained in this really effed up country of ours. And I hate to end off on this negative note, but I really don't have any ideas.